Good morning. I'm Stephen Datz, Chair of the Awards Committee. I'd like to call the April 1st, 2022 awards meeting to order. We have a physical quorum represented by Ricky Erickson, Joe Orfano, and Hai Vu. We also have Laura Dutton and myself attending online. The Office of General Counsel is represented by Rebecca Levy, and Budget is represented by Lori Whitmer. Before we start, I'd also like to announce that we have Terry Sexton joining us today. She's our new contract.
Hello.
Hello. She's our new contract associate, reporting to Heather Beard, a manager of procurement contract administration. So welcome, Terry. And before we begin reviewing today's agenda, I'd like Hai Vu to confirm whether there's anyone physically present for public comment.
Confirmed.
Thank you, sir. And Lynn, did you receive any public comment via email?
No public comments.
All right, let the record show we did not receive any public comment. I'll pause for a moment for callers joining us online to unmute and speak up. Hearing no comments, we'll proceed with today's regular agenda. On today's agenda, we have items 1 through 6 that have been reviewed by procurement and budget. These items are now ready to be reviewed by the awards committee, beginning with item 1, representing the minutes from the March 24th, 2022 awards committee meeting. Are there any comments or corrections to be discussed? Okay, may I get a motion to approve award item 1 representing the minutes from the March 24th, 2022 awards committee meeting?
Hai Vu, second.
We have a motion from Laura Dutton, a second from Hai Vu. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes are approved as presented. I'll pass it over to Jenny McCollum, our Chief Procurement Officer, to walk us through each of the remaining items before I ask for a motion, beginning with item 2.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 2 is a renewal. This is for our mail center operations. That includes sorting and prioritization of the mail, metering the mail, preparing certified letters, receiving, sending express mail, and tracking in the pickup of deliveries. Rico USA Inc. is our recommended awardee in the amount of $88,010.52. This is our 1-year renewal option that we would like to utilize. We did an informal ITN back in March of 2019, went through the first 3 years of the contract, so this will be the renewal. This will get us through the final time period of the operations at our current location, and we expect to rebid these services for our future location at the new headquarters during the next probably about 6 months. We'll probably hit the street on that. There is a 2.42% increase on this renewal, which we deem as reasonable with CPI being at 7.8. This was a very reasonable ask. So I will pause and see if you guys have any questions or comments.
Just one comment to note, with the transition to the new headquarters, you know, we have the ability to terminate this contract at any point between now and the expected transition to the new headquarters.
Yes, if you're asking to confirm, we do have that language in all of our contracts.
Yep.
There might be some overlap, right, that needs to happen, and I'm sure we'll probably utilize the whole year. Jason, I don't know if you want to comment.
Yeah, so we hired Rico a few years ago. They've been doing a great job with the mailroom. Mail sometimes can be complicated, especially if people don't get their mail. They're also in this contract including For the new building, going to each of the coffee rooms and making sure supplies are there. So checking the toner, the paper, pens, paper, that's something added into this contract. And also, aside from this contract, in a couple months, we're going to start a pilot with Rico to image our mail. So you'll get your mail electronically, hopefully in a few months.
That's
So this
great.
is
Thank you for
high.
the
This is
additional
high.
information.
This is
Go ahead,
high. Thank you, Jason, for that. But now I'm hearing differently than what was stated, which is, I understand the contract allows for them to serve the new headquarters, but in the writing, it says the intent is to really serve the 21 West Church Street, but Jason is saying that they will be there in the new building also, because they're checking toners and supplies.
Yeah, there's a mailroom in the new building on the first floor. And so the anticipation is Rico will get us set up there, make sure operations are working, and do maybe some extra things that they don't do currently because of the new design of the building.
Yeah, and I think that's great because it's the contract allows for that. So I think we just need to change the wording just to say to serve the downtown JEA headquarters. It's because it's not necessarily just at the 21 West Church Street address, right? So
Correct.
in the write-up, I think in the background of recommendation, and that's what Steve was alluding to earlier when it says, yeah, the intent is to provide service in the final time period of operations. Well, it's just, really, this is just another renewal, and regardless of whether headquarters is going to be. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah, this is Rodney. Yeah, I see the statement. We need to make that and say they will support in the transition to the new building rather than operations will terminate at this location and something new will come in the new building.
That clears it up for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Rodney.
Thanks, everyone. Any other questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thanks, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve Award 2 with amendments?
Joe Orfano, so moved.
And a second?
Ricky, second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Joe Arfano, a second from Ricky Erickson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is adopted. I'll pass it over to Jenny to present Award Item 3.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 3 is an invitation for bid. Excuse me. This is for the North Side Generating Station bidirectional amplifier supply and install, and this is to enhance signal coverage at Northside Generating Station. Mobile Communications America, Inc. is our recommended awardee in the amount of $523,578. We received one bid. We sought to better understand with the other potential suppliers why they did not participate, and no one was willing to provide any feedback to us. But in addition, this project scope is unique, and in a price comparison against similar projects really isn't feasible for this. So after review, we looked at, the amount that we had budgeted. We looked at what their bid was. We also had performed separately a solicitation for the assistance of a third-party vendor to perform a full site survey to determine the areas where the adequate signal coverage was not being met per the public safety code. And so we felt like our scope and how we put that out to the supply base was thorough. And so even though it did come in higher than what our budget estimate is, we are deeming this reasonable. I'll note that there is a 10% supplemental workforce amount that is included and that about $75,000 higher than our budget estimate. So that does equate for some, and then some we think likely could be due to, just increase in labor costs and materials without a comparison of other companies. This is just our best guess based off of when we put our estimate together. So I will pause there and ask the committee if you guys have any questions, comments, or if the business can answer any additional questions for you. I think Gary's on the line.
This is Hi, just a quick question. Is this work expected to be completed this fiscal year?
Yes.
Yeah, hi, Boo. This is Steve Tanner. Yes, the plan is to complete it before the end of September.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Any other questions or comments? All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 3?
Hi, Lou. So moved.
And a second. Thank you. We have a motion from Hai Vu, a second from Laura Dutton. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion is adopted. I'll pass it over to Jenny to present award item 4.
Thank you through the chair. Award number 4 is an invitation to negotiate. This is for our fleet services for our medium duty vehicle maintenance and repair. So we have 460 medium duty vehicle assets that will be a part of this program. The majority of them being Ford, about 418, and the remainder are Dodge vehicles. We went to the supply base, and Duval Ford is our recommended awardee in the amount of $3,220,306.80. This is for a 3-year award with 2 optional 1-year renewals. So this initial term will take us through June 14th of 2025. So we are bringing this to you a little bit early. We've got our current supplier is Coggin Ford. Their contract expires June 15th, so we will have a transition period between now and the end of their contract as we start to shift. This is best case scenario when we're dealing with maintenance, repair, vehicles. They can finish up what they have. We can start transitioning new stuff to the new supplier. But they'll likely, right now we're looking at just, running this contract out and then starting the new one, but we can start getting them up to speed. We evaluated the companies based on the minimum qualifications, pricing, professional experience, their location to JEA, their availability, and their cost effectiveness, and their approach from a preventative maintenance. We calculated the award amount using the existing fleet makeup and the corresponding projected maintenance for both preventative and corrective, which will occur over the next 3-year period. These numbers can fluctuate, obviously, depending on the actual usage of the vehicle, future fleet purchases and retirements, the severity and the frequency of major repairs, along with the fleet plans as part of JE's growth. So this is our best guess, but things do change and happen. So we think this will cover us, but certainly the business has flexibility to bring this back to the committee if we need additional funds. So I'll just pause there, and I think Bailey's on. Just as a quick question, Bailey, so we are starting this contract June 15th of 2022 based off of the award today. Do you anticipate us using this contract before the other one expires from a transition perspective? Because if so, we might want to update that begin date. Did that question make sense? Or if Bailey, I think you're on mute if you're trying to talk.
Sorry, I was double muted. Yep, Justin's off today, so I don't want to entirely speak for him and what his plans are, but I would imagine that we would probably utilize it. I would say at least a month to transition work over, so it wasn't a hard stop on one and picking up on another, and that way we don't impact anybody's operations or the service we provide.
Okay. I thought so too. And when I started to read through the write-up, I thought we might want to update that. So we will make an adjustment to that begin date. I would suggest May 1st, which would be about 6 weeks prior to when the contract expires, if that sounds okay to you, and then we can make the adjustment on the award for the approval. You okay with that adjustment, Bailey? It's about a 6 week.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. So I will ask the committee if you guys have any questions or comments.
Jenny, it's
And if-
Joe. The budget estimate looks kind of low based on the 3-year average annual spend. It would seem to imply a number closer to 3 mil than 2 mil.
I think Melanie is on. Melanie, do you have any information to share? Or budget might be able to jump in and answer that, Joe.
Jenny, it's Melanie. I'm on here. I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure how they came up with the budget estimate, other than possibly it was an annual projection, not a 3-year projection. It is my only explanation, because the quantities that they used within the workbook would have probably come out to the 1.9 million for an estimated annual.
Thanks, Melanie. Kenny, do you have any additional information on where we came up with the budget estimate number? Or is that an error that we need to update?
It looks like it might only be a 2-year figure if you look at the 3-year average, but I'm only speculating.
To defer to Eddie on this one, to be honest. I'm not sure where that budget estimate, I know we typically with the budget estimates will take the existing work scope that we use to award and or that mechanism that we use to bid, and we'll multiply it by the existing cost structure. On this one, there's over 200 different inputs that go into our cost structure of how we determine what our value will be. And that goes from corrective maintenance, where you're going to take hourly rates and estimated number of hours of service, parts, things along those lines. But you're also going to take, oil changes and 60,000 mile services, 100,000 mile services, some things along those lines, and for each individual asset, because different vehicles, depending upon their configuration, they're 4x4, things along those lines will all cost different. We want to have that structure in place to be able to accurately bid the different suppliers. So, that's
Okay.
where that comes from. I believe this was, sort of what we had, in the budget at the time for it. I'd have to peel it back a little bit as to what that number is.
So Eddie, if you have any other insight to add, and if it's something that, I know we updated this award a few times, it could have been something that just didn't get updated as we were looking at it. So if you have anything else to add to this.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. This was the initial budget estimate when the award first went up. I know there was a revised budget sent out like 2 weeks ago, so that should have been updated. So my bad on that one. But the newer budget estimate that Melanie had sent was around $850,000 per year. So that would bring it more in line with the $3.2 million for the total amount for this award.
All right, well, let's update it to include what we originally had thought with that 850 annually, and we will get that corrected before we sign off on the award. Does the committee have any other questions or comments?
But this is high. This is more for personal knowledge, but I am surprised that I guess Ford can maintain Dodge vehicles. I mean, the work would be, I'm assuming, similar, but as far as parts and all that, do they have issues with OEMs and things like that in maintaining another make?
I've not seen it in the past. Hi, this is Kenny Pearson. We have not had a lot of issues in the past when they have been able to plan it out. You know, when we do one of these bids, they're able to secure, you know, the appropriate things for all of the preventative maintenance and the corrective maintenance to it. They do have to source parts from, you know, their vendors. What is one of the stipulations of being the vendor is maintaining the warranty aspects of those vehicles. So that is something that the vendors have to do is when it is a warranty and they're not the Dodge vendor, they will have to coordinate with a Dodge vendor to take that to those vendors. To your point, you know, they are the OEM and like you said, there is some issues there, and that's where you would see a little bit of I guess a difference between a Ford vendor managing a Ford fleet and a Ford vendor managing a Dodge fleet. The challenge we had on medium duty vehicles is that within the county territory, there is not a Dodge vendor that can maintain these medium duty Dodge vehicles. And that's for the most part why we have moved away from buying these medium duty Dodge vehicles. Their weight ratings is not sustainable for, you know, the Dodge vendors locally to be able to manage. They can do our light duty Dodge pickup trucks because those are a lightweight vehicle. Heavy duty vehicles, because of their weight rating, they're just not able to do it at the shops. And Bailey may be able to elaborate on that a little further as to what transpires on a day-to-day, but
No, I'm good with that. Thanks, Kenny. I appreciate the information.
Any other questions or comments?
I think we take them to Fernandina Beach, like that area, Amelia Island, like up there. There's a Dodge dealer that does the warranty work.
All right, thanks, Kenny. I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
May I get a motion to approve Award 4 with amendment?
Hi, Boo. So moved.
Joe
And a
Alfano,
second? Thank you. We have a motion from Hai Bu, a second from Joe Orfano. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion is adopted. I'll pass it over to Jenny to present award item 5.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 5 is through our real estate directive. Jay has negotiated an easement purchase with Crossroad United Methodist Church, Inc. to install this pipeline for the Southside Integrated Piping System Program, SARSIPS program. Crossroad United Methodist Church, Inc. is our recommended awardee in the amount of $72,000. Just as a note, the awards committee is required to approve real estate purchases between $50,000 and $500,000, which is why you guys are seeing this. Everything else above that goes to the board. Anything below that can be done by the real estate procurement officer. A little bit of history. So JA installed a water line crossing the St. Johns River by the Matthews Bridge as part of the Total Water Management Project. And this large water line moves water from the north grid to the south grid of Duval County. So the project's final connection station was at the water plant in Arlington. JEA is now connecting this pipeline from Bradley Road to the Deerwood Water Treatment Plant off of the Southside Boulevard. The route is several miles long, and it will be in COJ's public right-of-way for the majority of the project. However, there is a section where it jumps into JEA's electric corridor that crosses JTB. In the eastern 75 feet, JEA only has an electric easement interest. So we are purchasing an easement to install this pipeline and any future pipelines in the eastern 75 feet of the entire corridor. The appraised value, there's some backup documentation based off of how they came up with the award amount. The appraisal was just slightly under what the award amount, what we negotiated the purchase price to be for this easement. And in addition to that, JEA has agreed to a parking arrangement in the corridor to temporarily allow overflow parking for the church. So the real estate procurement officer and OGC have both reviewed this and approved this purchase, and we are bringing it to the committee for a final approval. I'll ask you guys if you have any questions or comments. All right, seeing none, I'll pass it back to the chair for.
Thank you, Jenny. May I get a motion to approve award item 5?
Ricky, so moved.
In a second.
Laura Dutton, second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Ricky Erickson, a second from Laura Dutton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion is adopted. I'll pass it over to Jenny to present our final award item.
Thank you. Through the chair, award number 6, this is an invitation for bid. This is our fiber optic cable overhead repair and maintenance work. This is for relocates or laterals, maintenance for non-emergency repair and emergency repair within the JEA service territory. Cook Electric Inc. is our recommended awardee in the amount of $2,941,740. This is a 5-year award with a 1-year renewal option. We only received 1 bid. We solicited feedback from the other potential vendors. There were 4. Some declined to respond, but some of the feedback that we did receive was that they had limited resources as a reason for choosing to not bid on this work. The rates for the contract are maintained in this new award request, so those have not changed. We do see a 78% increase in hours required for this 5-year contract versus the last one. And it's noted that this is primarily due to projected road construction projects through DOT and COJ, as well as the Bay Street Innovation Corridor and other projected project work under the Fiber Renew and Replacement Project. We'll pause there and ask if you guys have any questions or comments. All right, I'll pass it back to the chair for a vote.
May I get a motion to approve award item 6?
Joe Orfano, so moved.
In a second.
Ricky, second.
We have a motion from Joe Orfano, a second from Ricky Erickson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion is adopted. The entire agenda representing items 1 through 6 are approved for April 1st, 2022. Is there any other business to come before the awards committee at this time? Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.